There's a saying you've probably heard countless times: time heals all wounds. It sounds comforting, it gives people hope. But is it actually true? You've probably met someone who is still carrying pain from 20 years ago. You've seen people whose anger has only grown stronger with time. The calendar kept moving, but they didn't. Because time, by itself, changes very little. What changes us is what we choose to do during that time. Healing begins when someone decides to forgive. Healing begins when someone asks for help. Healing begins when someone faces the truth instead of avoiding it. Healing begins when someone chooses growth over bitterness. Time simply gives those choices room to work. Imagine breaking your leg. Would sitting at home for 6 months magically heal it if you never treated it? Of course not. You would need rest. You would need care. You would need rehabilitation. Your emotional life works the same way. Time is the space. Your actions are the medicine. This idea echoes throughout Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. Two people can experience the same pain. One becomes consumed by it. The other becomes transformed by it. The difference is not the passage of time. The difference is what happened within that time. Everything compounds. One of the greatest misunderstandings about success is believing that life changes overnight. It rarely does. Most change is invisible while it's happening. Imagine placing a single drop of water into a bucket. Nothing seems different. Add another drop. Still nothing. 100 drops. 1,000 drops. Eventually the bucket overflows. People notice the overflow. They never notice the thousands of drops that came before it. Life works exactly the same way. One workout won't change your body. One chapter won't make you an expert. One investment won't make you wealthy. One difficult conversation won't completely restore a relationship. One day of discipline won't transform your life. But neither will one day of laziness destroy it. The danger and the beauty lies in repetition. Every day becomes another vote for the person you're becoming. Darren Hardy explains this beautifully in The Compound Effect. Small decisions appear insignificant because their rewards are delayed. That's why consistency is difficult. Human beings love immediate results. We want the tree before planting the seed. We want the harvest before the seasons. We want success before becoming the person capable of sustaining it. But life doesn't work that way. Everything worthwhile grows slowly before it grows visibly. The greatest transformations often happen during the seasons when nothing seems to be happening. The person studying quietly, the entrepreneur building behind the scenes, the individual working on themselves when nobody is watching. They are all experiencing growth that cannot yet be seen. Progress is often happening beneath the surface, long before it appears above the ground. A seed does not become a tree in a day, but every day it is becoming something different. Your choices today are creating a future that your present eyes may not yet recognize. Never underestimate what consistent effort, multiplied by time, can create. The investment that matters most. When people hear the word investment, they immediately think about money, stocks, real estate, businesses, retirement funds. Those investments matter. But there is another investment that determines every other investment. The investment you make in yourself. Morgan Housel writes in The Psychology of Money that wealth is often less about intelligence than about behavior over long periods of time. Time allows money to compound, but time also allows knowledge to compound. Confidence compound, skills compound, trust compounds, reputation compounds, character compounds. Imagine reading just 20 pages every day. That seems insignificant. But after 1 year, you've read more than 20 books. Imagine learning one new skill every month. Imagine exercising for 30 minutes each day. Imagine choosing patience instead of anger in hundreds of conversations. Imagine saving a small percentage of every paycheck. None of those decisions will impress anyone today, but 5 years from now, your life may become almost unrecognizable, not because of one giant breakthrough, because of thousands of fateful decisions. The person you become in the future is being shaped by the choices you make when nobody is paying attention. Every hour spent learning is an investment in the opportunities you will have later. Every healthy choice is a gift to the person your future self will become. The challenge is that self-investment rarely feels urgent. There is no immediate reward, no applause, and no guarantee that anyone will notice your effort. But the greatest returns in life often come from things you patiently build before anyone can see the results. The seeds you plant today become the foundation you stand on tomorrow. Relationships grow or fade. The same principle applies to the people we love. Relationships don't suddenly become strong. Neither do they suddenly fall apart. A marriage isn't built in one anniversary. It's built in ordinary Tuesday evenings. It's built in listening when you're tired. It's built in keeping promises. It's built in choosing kindness during disagreements. Friendships work the same way. Trust isn't created by one grand gesture. It's built one conversation at a time. One phone call, one visit, one act of generosity, one moment of honesty. Unfortunately, neglect compounds too. A message left unanswered, a conversation postponed, an apology never spoken, a parent you keep meaning to visit, a friend you keep planning to call. One day becomes 1 week. 1 week becomes 1 year. Eventually, distance feels normal, not because anyone intended it, but because time amplified neglect just as faithfully as it amplifies love. Time doesn't choose what grows. It simply grows whatever you continue to feed. This is why the small moments matter more than we realize. A 5-minute conversation, it can strengthen a bond. A simple act of appreciation can remind someone they are valued. A decision to show up consistently can create a relationship that survives difficult seasons. The people in our lives are not maintained by occasional grand gestures, but by the daily choices we make when there is nothing to gain and no one watching. Because love, like everything meaningful, is not built in a moment. It is built through moments repeated over time. The price of waiting. Perhaps the greatest tragedy isn't failure. It's waiting. Waiting until you feel confident. Waiting until life becomes easier. Waiting until next Monday. Waiting until next year. Waiting until everything is perfect. Perfection is a moving target. If you keep waiting for the perfect time, you'll discover something painful. The perfect time eventually becomes no time at all. The people you admire didn't begin because everything was ready. They began because they understood something most people don't. Action creates clarity. Waiting rarely does. Every meaningful journey starts while something still feels uncertain, because life rewards movement more than intention. And before you know it, another year has passed. Not because you chose to lose it, but because you believed there would always be another.